Everybody, my boo things, welcome back to my channel. If you've been a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. If you're passing by, please do make sure that you click the subscribe button, because I know you're definitely going to like what you see, because I mean, you're here. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome to the family, and I hope that you love the content that you see. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, click that notification button, you know, all the shebangs. And today we will be talking about all things pageantry. Let's get into it. So basically what we're going to speak about today is the positives and negatives of the pageant industry, or being in the pageant world. And just a disclaimer, these are my experiences, hence my views, so it doesn't mean that the experience I had someone else had. These are solely my views and my experiences. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with the positives. So I'm going to name 5 positives and 5 negatives, or maybe 4, because I really don't have a lot of negatives to say. But yeah, we'll start with the positives. So my first positive is that being in the pageant industry has really taught me people skills. I'm a very socially awkward individual, believe it or not. Once I have like my people, then I'm free, but around strangers, really, I was so socially awkward and I didn't know how to interact. I overthought things, like, okay, what if they're gonna think I'm too much? What if they want this? What if? And then, and just being in the pageant industry has really just helped me accept and love myself for who I am. Obviously, not a lot of people are going to gel with me or gel with my character, but I found that like being myself in social spaces will attract the right people that are connected and aligned to me. So yeah, I learned and I got over that. So my number 1 is people skills, because I really sucked at that before the pageantry or entering into pageants. Second positive is public speaking and being able to elevate my brand. So I've always loved debating and public speaking, but I found myself to either stutter. My friends can tell you my stories don't, like, I'm one person who starts a story and then add a backstory, and then, so it really helped me be comfortable behind the mic. It helped me to be free when I deliver either speeches or motivational talks. And you know, like when they say practice makes perfect, like the more I got to do it, the more I became comfortable in it. And the pageantry platform gave me that exposure, that experience to actually be called to schools. So nearly practice, it was practice, you know, and as I spoke and as I, it really helped me with my public speaking and elevating my brand. So I am Pearl Ntshehi, and I would love to, and this is what I tell my girls, that you should have your own brand, and whatever you do should be attached to your brand. So it really helped me elevate my personal brand as well, on top of public speaking, because when you're exposed, then you know your name, yeah, you know. Yes. So number 3, your initiatives. It either helps you start an initiative or push you to work on your initiative, and it gets you how can I say this, exposed to communities that you could assist. So I always like saying, you can be Pearl, but when you're Pearl Ntshehi added with Pearl Ntshehi, the current first princess of Miss Mamelodi Sundowns, and I would like to 1, 2, 3, 4, then you're okay, you know. So it really helps you with your initiative. My current initiative is Project 31, and the first pageant that I entered was very community based, if I should put it. Like, it focused more on giving back to the community. So I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, let me just do it right. and build the foundation right now with the current title I have. So it helped me start Project 31 as well as start my initiatives when it comes to Project 31. And yeah, so it could help you either start, get work done. You know, it actually pushes and motivates you because you're like, hey, listen, I don't want my year of reign to go to waste. And it's also giving me an opportunity to give back to the community. So number 3, your initiative. Number 4 comes unexpectedly, or it came unexpectedly to me. Like I said, with number 1, and all these points are like sort of like intertwined. With my number 1 was people skills, right? So with that personality, my people skills being refined, it leads me to number 4, it led me rather to number 4, which is networking and friendships. Friendships, I really didn't like, it came as a surprise, but I'll speak about that. With networking, you put into certain spaces if you present a certain brand. And if the people behind the brand love who you are and you put yourself out there and you network, listen, if you shoot a shot, you have nothing, absolutely nothing to lose. But it goes back to remembering your reason why you actually entered that particular pageant. So with me, it gave me an opportunity to work with Sing with Sundowns for our 50th anniversary, and I had so much fun. So my people skills allowed me to communicate what I want to do with the brand, or the reason why I entered, and it connected me to the right people. By God's will, you know, God does the most. But it helps you with your networking if you know your reasons why you entered that pageant. If you entered the pageant because you love the pageant industry and you want to improve yourself, that's okay, that's fine. One of my reasons, I was like, listen, I love this brand. I mean, I'm from Mamelodi, I've been a supporter, so the opportunities that I got with that, like literally my intentions radiated through me. I didn't have to say much, but my actions also showed, which, you know, it allows you to network. It puts you in spaces, and it's up to you to use it to your advantage or to just leave it alone. So with number 4, there was friendships as well. I really didn't expect to make friendships in that particular space, but I grew really close to some of the girls who have either entered or were in my year as well. We had a lot in common after obviously like just breaking barriers outside the competition, and I thought it was just for the like time being in the competition, but I really grew close and I grew to like loving and having great friendships with the girls. So it could also help you, you know, get the girls or have friendships with people who have the same interests and passions with you, and you'll be surprised how great value they add to your day-to-day life. Which then brings me to number 5, creating memories. We all get that we're in a competition and people really want to win, but I love telling my girls at the workshop, or the girls that attend the workshops, the Crown Africa workshops, that besides the whole competition, you get to live this opportunity out once. I'm not sure about other pageants, but most pageants, you're only allowed to enter once. Like for example, with Miss Mamelodi Sundowns, if you're a provincial winner, which you're going to go to nationals, you can't enter again, you know. So live out, like be in the moment, be present, try and enjoy the journey to learn about the brand, because even if you win or you don't, or even if you don't win, you're still like a provincial princess, or you're a finalist for that brand, and you have the sash. So the more you learn about the brand, the more you get to absorb and love the brand and use your reign to your advantage, or have a great reign. So creating memories, that pageant week where you get to go to places, you know, capture those moments, be present. Don't think about the competition as much. Try and have as much fun as you can, because you only get to walk that stage once. Okay, so now we're gonna dive in to the negatives that I experienced, or in my views are negatives of the pageant industry. And my first one is body shaming. And I experienced this after, legit a day after the Miss Mamredi Sundowns finals, where I got a call from a lady, and she was just like, yeah, she said a whole bunch of things, and then she's like, but how did you expect to win if you gained so much weight? And I was like, I did what? Okay. And I went back and I looked at the pictures and I was just like, oh no, actually. And I started really just being hard on myself. I remember it was a very emotional time for me, and we had just gone into lockdown, and I was just not in a great space at that moment. And people, I don't know why people, either when they see you, if they haven't seen you for a long time, and then they're like, oh, or like they try, or not try, I don't know where people seem to think, rather, that it's okay to comment on someone's weight, either if they've lost, gained, or whatever, maintained. Like, just don't. I feel like weight and like acne problems or skin problems, it's like not your place. Like, don't do it. You haven't seen me in a long time. I won't have the body of a 16-year-old like forever. I wish, but we grow. So people then often found it okay, I don't know why, to comment on my weight and to say things like, oh, but if you look this way, then surely I can also enter. Like, aren't there any weight restrictions? And I'm just like, come on. Come on. I know I'm a very curvy individual, so I'm just like, no. So the body shaming, and people are surprisingly comfortable to comment on your body when they have no right at all, you know. So number one is body shaming. Okay, so my number two is expectations. Expectations of self, expectations of or from the brand, and expectations from the people who are behind you during your journey. So your expectations of, or your expectation of self is, you know, sometimes we go into things and we want it so bad that we put the bar way up here, which is okay, but we don't make room for disappointments, or we put so much pressure on ourselves that when we really don't perform the way we want to perform, then we like beat ourselves up. And listen, not everything is going to go the way that you would like it to go, which goes back to the positives of just create memories, enjoy the process, like live in the moment. Don't have so much, like, don't put so much pressure on yourself. You know, if you don't win, it's okay. I mean, you're a winner. And for actually just stepping out there and going to like chase your dreams and actually doing something. Most people say they want to do something and they sit back and end up not doing it. But for the fact that you got off the couch, you're like, I want to enter, you actually do it, you go through the whole process, you're a finalist, you don't make the top 3 or the top 5 or whatever, it's okay. The fact that you got up and you tried it, it counts. So expectations of self. And then expectations of the brand. And obviously pageants are different and they're handled by different organizations. So when we enter a particular pageant, we think, oh my gosh, they need to do this, they need to do my PR, they need to, you know, but not all pageants are like that, and not all pageants are or operate in that way. So we might have expectation of the brand, well, they just give you a blank canvas and like paint your journey, which most pageants are like that. Obviously they do have some set things that you have to do, but just go into it not expecting anything, and go into it as if somebody has been given you a blank canvas, you're the painter, so you can do whatever with your journey, which is also beautiful if you know the reason why you entered. You know, you're given the freedom to paint whatever picture that you would want to leave for the girls that are coming in the years to come. Like, for example, with my first princess, I was like, I am going to be the best first princess there is. And I took my journey, I took my title, and I made it my own. So it could be a positive thing as well. So expectation of the brand. and then expectations from the people who support you. And I feel like most people come from a really good place, like when they say these things, but if you entered for a specific reason and for you you're content and you're fine, and people think that you're not okay, and they come up to you and they, you know, they try and comfort you, or sometimes people get it wrong. Like, people get it wrong, and then it could go really right, and then it can go really wrong when they're trying to, you know, comfort you, and then they say certain things that are off, and you're like, wasn't even thinking about that. Like, people love to analyze, or the people who support you love to analyze, okay, you couldn't have got it because of 1, 2, 3, 4. Where really, I mean, you gave it your all, and it is what it is, you know. So the negatives could be the views of the people who supported you throughout your journey. It can like kind of like bring you down, because you could be content while someone else is still trying to find reasons why you didn't win. So the third negative is money. So not all pageants are big and have big brands supporting them, and it might be a red flag unless that pageant is just a start off pageant, but they make it worth your while. Like, when you, obviously some pageants you pay an entry fee, there's certain things that you need to pay for, but there was a particular pageant that I entered, and I'm not going to say the name of the pageant, and we had to pay like ridiculous amounts of money. Like, now that I look back, I'm just like, why did I do that? But you could do that, but if the brand gives back to you as well. And in this case, the brand didn't give back to me, and I was like, that was not a very smart move, Pearl, but it's okay. So do your research before you commit to a particular pageant. Some pageants you actually need to pay money, but they make it worth your while. Not all pageants are like Miss Mamelodi Sundowns or Miss South Africa, but there are administration fees that in some pageants you have to pay for, but make sure that it's worth your while. Do your research. NB, do your research. My number 4, and I think it's the last one, because I don't have a lot of, like, I don't have a number 5, because I think my positives were a lot and I had to sum them up to 5, but negatives weren't really that much. I had to like sit down and really think. So my number 4 is conflicts. So we know that, hey, in a group and in a certain setting, there are personality clashes, and there are things that are going to happen that really, you know. So that's part of, I think that's some of the negatives. Where in some pageants I didn't really experience, did I? But anyway, I didn't have like any conflict, but you know, whatever. Yeah, in certain pageants you get that in a certain setting, certain people and certain personalities like bump heads. So I think that is actually not what pageants are about. It's supposed to be uplifting and women empowerment and, you know, all of that. But in some cases you get that people's personalities don't really gel well together. So number 4 could be the conflicts. I just avoid conflicts at all costs. Like, I'm just like, I'm not about that. And yeah, that brings us to the end of the positives and the negatives of the pageantry world. Do check out my other videos on my pageant series. If you loved what you saw, please do give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Do comment below on your views of any positives and negatives that you see in the pageant industry, or any clarity that you'd like me to explain on, or anything else you'd like me to touch on in terms of pageantry. I might do this again later on in the year, or in the upcoming months leading up to the Miss Mamelodi Sundowns finale, which I'll be handing over my title. I'm so excited to see who wins and who takes home the main crown, first princess, second princess, and all that. But thank you so much for watching my videos. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up.